This is the Volkspark Stadion in Hamburg, the venue for the third and final Schweppes Challenge between the Hamburg Blue Devils and the team in red here from Great Britain, the Manchester Spartans. The winner of this game goes home with prize money of 30,000 Deutschmarks. Hi, this is Nick Halling along with James Thornton. Now, I think we have to declare an interest here, or I do anyway. I'm pulling for the Manchester Spartans to pick this one up, but Hamburg have proved in the first two games that they're a pretty tough proposition. And straight away, Hartley with the return was tackled by Victor Ebubedike, the former London Monarch. And there are a few guests making an appearance for the Manchester Spartans today, but on the evidence that we've seen so far, JT, on Hamburg, the Spartans are going to need some help.
I tell you, they definitely will, but on the flip side, I think Hamburg will find that this will not be the Amsterdam Crusader club that they played in the last game. These guys are from Manchester, looking to come play a little football, and there's a lot of experience on this field today.
Yeah, one or two real big names. First and 10. Ball spotted at the 32-yard line. First down. Bob Jones is at quarterback for the Blue Devils, out of the I formation. Fakes, looks to pass, set up a lot of time, and he's going for it all, and he's got Ronnie Cunningham open, and what a start for the Blue Devils. Touchdown on the very first play, 68 yards, Jones to Cunningham. Where was the defense?
I don't know, but let me tell you, sometimes what happens is the defensive pressure with the line got to him. Jones rolls out, and it looks like man-to-man coverage, and actually a mix-up. They actually had two receivers, the Blue Devils, open. And Jones made a terrific throw, terrific catch, touchdown.
A disastrous start then for the Manchester Spartans, down by 6 on the very first play from scrimmage. Bob Jones to Ronnie Cunningham. We saw that connection working against the Amsterdam Crusaders in the last game. Well, it's paid a dividend here as well in this third and final game as well. 6-0 in favor of the Blue Devils, and now the extra point attempt, and it'll be Ollie Geeson trying it.
Our buddy Ollie.
Ollie, well, he got a couple against Amsterdam, but they missed more than they attempted and had 3 kickers. Bad snap, but fielded well by the holder, and Geeson's kick sails through the uprights. 7-0.
Nick, I think here it'll be interesting to see how Manchester responds to this opening offensive series. Again, here you see the rollout all the time in the world. Offensive line does a great job of blocking for him, and he just unloads. And that you'll look downfield and you'll see actually 2 receivers open. And it just looks man-to-man coverage, and they got beat. Simple as that. So the Spartans are going to have to come back and answer this call. And it is a call, believe me.
Immediately 7 points down. Geeson getting ready to kick off. End-over-end kick. Terry Robinson will field it at around his own 12-yard line. Looks for a seam, doesn't really find one. Eklund in on the tackle, the ball coming down to around the 30-yard line. Rusty Eklund in on the tackle. He really is a bit of a demon.
Hey, they're running down there looking to knock some heads and get to the ball carrier. It's going to be very interesting now. This is kind of like a little all-star team here for the UK squad.
It really is. Here's the offensive line. Jobson, Jackson, Jones, Smith, and Kim. That's the big offensive line. Good, solid Manchester players, but 1 or 2 guests dotted around in the backs and receivers as well. First and 10. We'll take a look at those in just a minute. Terry Smith at quarterback. Normally plays wide receiver and defensive back, and is the head coach of the Manchester Spartans. And the flags come down. Victor Ebubedike gets thrown down as well. Marco Simon tossing him down, but flags, and I think that may be a false start penalty against the Spartans.
Looks like the right tackle move, just a little bit, but the little bit's enough in this game. See what call we get.
That was false start, 71 reps.
False start, and it's been assessed against Andy Keem, the offensive lineman. Here's the backs and receivers. Smith at quarterback, Robinson and Ebubedike in the backfield. Steve Marsh, Alex Whitaker are the wideouts. Bob Hall is in at tight end. Steve Marsh has been a Manchester Spartan for more years than I care to remember. Still playing well.
Don't give your age away, no.
The pitch back to Ebubedike, the former London Raven and London Monarch. And a great run from Ebubedike. 12 yards on the pickup.
It's amazing. Victor lowered his shoulder, got caught in the backfield for a loss, actually kept the feet moving, head on a swivel. He's got quite a lot of experience behind him, and he's one of the original players here that were in the UK.
Just a teenager when he started out for the London Ravens, graduated to the London Monarchs, scored a touchdown for the Monarchs against the Orlando Thunder in the first year, And I think, JT, disagree with me if you will, I think he's probably the best running back in Europe.
I agree with that, definitely.
Smith operating out of the I formation on 2nd and 3. The pitch back again is to Abubadiki, and he's tackled short of the first down marker. I think Goodman and Hartley combining to stop Abubadiki, who will have picked up a couple, but short of first down yardage.
I'm sure Coach White with the Hamburg team have done their homework also, and they realize some of the people they've got. We're looking at the defensive line there, and
5-man front.
Yeah, and they played a tremendous game last time. Like I said, they got to turn it up a notch this week, and I think they will. You'll probably see a lot more attacking.
Well, they're certainly going up against a far better standard of opponent than the Amsterdam Crusaders sent out. There's some real quality men in this Manchester team. You've got Jason Elliott on the sidelines at quarterback. You've got Mike Taylor, a London Monarch. You've got Leroy Innes. Real good quality players. Rocky Coleridge gets the carry, and he may be short of first down yardage. They needed a yard. I'm not sure they got it.
I don't think they got it, Nick. And to be honest with you, it was poor execution by the offensive line and basically great line surge by the defense of the Blue Devils.
And there's the linebacking and defensive backcourt. Craig Hartley, one of 4 Americans that can be on the field at any one time. And one of the guys that made the tackle there was Rusty Eklund, number 26, who's already come up with 2 or 3 tackles and had a big game against Amsterdam and started off fast here. 4th and 1, and Smith is going for it. Gives it to Abubadiki, and then Abubadiki barrels his way forward behind a good block and will have picked up a couple of yards there, so keeps the drive alive. But a bit of a gamble there from Terry on 4th down.
Yeah, and such a deep handoff, too. I mean, basically, Victor is 7 yards back, and look, he's 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, but he bursts through the line. There are very few people in Europe that are going to stop Victor from getting a yard.
Rusty Eklund on the tackle, but not before Victor Abubadiki had picked up a Manchester first down. And I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of Victor Abubadiki in this game.
Definitely, but hey, keep an eye on Hartley and Eklund, because those are the keys for the Hamburg defense.
So first down, the ball on the 42. Abubadiki gets the carry again and is stopped. Well stopped this time. That was Goodman in on the tackle. Greg Goodman, number 3.
But again, Rusty Eklund with the initial hit. I mean, he's making a read. He finds a gap, surges in there. Boom. Gets Victor to spin around. So it's important for the Manchester offensive line to be able to pick up any type of leakage coming through from the Hamburg defense. They're a bunch of big boys. They can handle themselves. 2nd
down and 8 after the 2-yard gain. And again, out of the I formation, Smith under pressure from Falter. And that looked like it may have been a fumble. I think the officials are saying that it may have been an intended forward pass, but whatever. Terry Smith dodging a bit of a bullet there because Peter Falter was all over him.
Hey, Nick, and we know that this is not Terry Smith's normal position. He's normally a defensive back, and I think he's trying to shake off the cobwebs a little bit. Just a poor drop back, and it looked like he never had the ball. Looked like a fumble to me.
But I think he got it back anyway, but strikes me as strange that they've ruled that as a forward pass from where they spotted the ball. They're saying it's a 3rd and 8. And the handoff to Victor, and Victor's got a bit of running room here. Breaks one tackle, and this could be trouble for Hamburg. Abubadiki on the way, and his foot tackle just short of the end zone. A great tackle coming in from Craig Hartley, number 33. That saved a touchdown. Definitely did, and a great call by Smith. With the Hamburg defensive line being so aggressive and really pinning their ears back and coming, they just fanned him out. We call that fan blocking. You push the man where he wants to go, the back makes a read. Once he gets in the secondary, not many people are going to stop him. But looks like that monkey got on Victor's back just a little bit about right now. As you can see, the shoulders are starting to go back. Did he trip himself, or no? I think Goodman got a hand in there, or rather Hartley got a hand in there.
It's a great run, though.
Not often you see Victor getting tripped up from behind, and
this is true.
Desperation tackle, but it saved a touchdown. 1st and goal, though, and all sorts of movement going around there. Who are they going to call that one against? That's what you don't need. This area is called the red zone from the 20 yards in for an offensive unit, and what you don't need are penalties like that. They just don't make any it makes no sense whatsoever.
Lineman moves back for protection. No foul, reset, and 1 again.
Well, no foul was the end of that. They said the offensive lineman moved in protection.
Hey, Nick.
Let's have a translation.
I think that means that The offensive lineman did not move in transition. I don't know what it means. And this guy is not Jerry Seaman, that's for sure, you know?
I tell you, I've not heard that call before, but whatever, it is 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line once again. Smith again out of the I formation. Ebubedike looking to turn the corner. Just shoves off one tackler, is brought down short of a touchdown by Stefan Starker, but the way he pushed off the first tackler gives you an indication of Victor Ebubedike's enormous strength.
He's a very strong runner, always has been. What you're going to see here is Hamburg doing a great job of stringing this play out. Takes on the lead blocker. Notice the defensive end takes him with the outside shoulder. Sure, Victor shoved him out of the way, but it allowed a chance to get inside help.
And that was Craig Hartley he shoved out of the way, the guy that tripped him up and stopped him last time.
I actually think that maybe they're marking Victor. Maybe they've got one guy to go that they told, hey, wherever he goes, you go.
2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Still out of the I formation. The give is to Ebubedike. Touchdown, Manchester.
That's just simple desire there. Great surge by the offensive line, and Victor just did the rest. It's a nice drive. Time-consuming, you know. Good running. Didn't have to throw.
70-yard drive. 11 plays, and it was finished like this.
I mean, you just see surge. And when you get line surge like that, when you're looking within a 2 to 3 yard zone, the offensive line's going to win every time.
Mike Morley will attempt the extra point for the Spartans. That's on its way. It looks good. Let's wait for the official signal. There it is, confirmation. So we're all square here at Hamburg. It's the Blue Devils 7, the Manchester Spartans 7. Welcome back. It was 7-all when you left us. That became 15-7 on this play. Bob Jones on a quarterback keeper. 11 yards on the carry. Jones carried it in for a 2-yard conversion as well. So Jones restores the lead. Back, though, came the Spartans. Victor Ebubedike. Who else? An 8-yard touchdown run. Tremendous power, blasting his way past defenders. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion failed. Now, something you won't see very often. Ebubedike fumbling here, having the ball actually stripped away by number 3, Greg Goodman. And watch Goodman go to work once he's got hold of the ball. And Victor, I think, would like to have that one back. And Goodman, well, he came up with the business there, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And it was a tremendous job of getting his hands on the ball and basically taking it away from Victor, but having the presence of mind to keep his balance and run with the ball, which isn't necessarily always easy to do, Nick, let me tell you.
Now, for those of you who are keeping a stat on such things, Ollie Geeson's PAT attempt failed after that one, so that brings up a score of 21-13 in favor of the Hamburg Blue Devils late in the 2nd quarter. That's certainly the pick of the touchdown so far, the steal. But it's the Spartans that have got the ball. They're on their own 36-yard line. Time a factor now, but they're only down by 8 points, and they're really making quite a fight of this. A team that's been very hastily cobbled together. The season in Britain finished, well, for the Spartans, finished about 6 weeks ago. And a few guests, as I say, have been dragged in, but they're doing a pretty good job so far. And here's one of those guests, Victor Ebubedike. He is just pounding up and down this field.
Yeah, he is. And you know what, Nick? That kind of looks like the old run and shoot. You know, the one-back offense there. I mean, basically, they spread the field, get the defense thinking about pass, a little draw play to Victor, a little juke. Offensive lineman gets in the way here. Get out of my way. I got to go. Next thing you know, 8-yard gain. Nice run.
There's the numbers on Victor. 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. That brings up another 1st down. Close to midfield. Smith looking for Leroy Innis, and Innis took his eye off the ball. They all do it.
That's a gimme.
Even the good ones.
Yeah, but that's a gimme, let me tell you. That's the kind of thing you tie it up in a bow and go Merry Christmas.
I know one needs to tell Leroy Innis that he should have had that one.
I think that's one of the most worst feelings you can ever have in your life.
It happens to all the receivers, doesn't it? Every great receiver has put one away like that.
That's why I keep telling the coach, put the lineman out there, you know?
No chance. Catch it in your stomach, maybe. 2nd and 10.
Wouldn't drop it.
Still that spread formation. Motion comes in from Robinson. The pitch back to Ebubedike. Pressure coming. Ebubedike not really able to get around his own offensive lineman there. Big number 71, Andy Keem. And that's a pickup of maybe a yard.
But you know what? There's our man Eklund again on the move. Even though he wasn't in the play itself, again offering support. He reads Victor. I really think they got Victor marked here with one player. You're going to see Eklund come in the screen here, try to make the play. I mean, they're doing a hell of a job. They got to pick it up a little bit.
3rd and 9, Manchester. Smith fires, completes. Leroy Innes. Innes still on his feet, surrounded by Blue Devils, and picks up a first down, and Leroy Innes has atoned for that earlier error.
Great catch, great throw. I'll tell you what, Leroy basically found, it looks like Hamburg were running a zone, and he just found the soft spot in the zone, or else the defensive back cut up. Looks like a penalty.
Timeout.
Nope, timeout. So it stayed. Manchester take a timeout.
42 seconds.
Leroy Innes, coming back to him. Here's a guy who's been a 2-time Coca-Cola Bowl MVP, and you don't get that by accident.
Not at all. You don't get to be any MVP by accident. He possesses great hands and great speed. Again, and I think the D-back respects that speed if you saw how far he was playing off of him. And able to continue to play, looking for that little extra yardage.
14 yards on the game. They needed 9, so it keeps the drive alive. And the timeout taken by the Spartans, still just 8 points down. And driving, looking to tie it up.
I mean, they got some big offensive linemen, Nick. I mean, look at these guys. Look at number 7. He was standing in the huddle. He's towering over everybody. He's got to be about 6'5", 6'6". You know, solid group of guys, and it should be a formidable matchup for the defensive front of Hamburg.
Smith with a little shuffle from pass to Victor. That was a design play, and Victor with a bit of running room here. Gets down to around the 20-yard line, and Terry Smith went into the box of tricks there.
Oh, yeah, and Terry is a perfectionist and does his homework, and believe me, he's probably scouted this team and put in a couple of wrinkle plays. As you can see, drop back and the little old shuffle play. Offensive line set up a little bit of the clip there, but we didn't see that, you know, a fellow offensive lineman there. And there goes Victor doing the rest of the work.
And once again, it's Greg Goodman, number 3 on him. I think you're right. I think Goodman is there just to shadow Victor, because wherever Victor goes, there's Goodman.
Yeah. Which is probably the best way to do it.
So 33 seconds left first half. The Spartans have moved the ball to the 20-yard line. They'll have maybe time for 3 plays, and it's going to be a long field goal attempt, this one, for Mike Morley, if they can't get it a little bit nearer. They'll be looking to try and punch this one in.
Definitely, and I think on the first play, you got to take 2 shots at the end zone. You really do.
I formation for the Spartans. Smith, good protection, puts one up in the air. He's looking for Leroy Innes, and Innes beats the coverage and gets a touchdown. He got ahead of Brian Larson, number 21, and that's what Leroy Innes does so well.
Hey, Nick, does it mean you get to call me coach now? I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah, you called it.
You couldn't have drawn it up any better. Basically, Terry goes back into the pocket, great line protection. And the thing is, he's looking at Innes all the way. Innes is actually double covered here, and the ball had to be laid in perfectly. Touchdown. Great catch.
So that reduces the deficit to 2, and I think they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here to try and tie it up at halftime. Good fight back this by the Spartans. They've hung in there. Remember, they gave up a touchdown on the very first play from scrimmage, and they've always been behind, but they've played it tough.
Think they're going to Victor here?
I would give the ball to Victor here, and it's not going anywhere. Terry, I think, didn't quite get a hold of that ball, whether it was a bad snap or whether Terry just took his eye off it. Whatever.
That's a very unfortunate situation, because looks like they were going to run an off-tackle play with Victor, and it could have been successful. But then again, I guess we'll never know. A good line surge. Hole was there.
But unfortunately, no one's got the ball, and I think in the end it was a Hamburg Blue Devil that managed to come up with it. Rusty Eklund, I think, was in there. So, half-time, 21-19 in favour of the Blue Devils. 19 at the half in favour of Hamburg, but the Blue Devils extended their lead early in the 4th quarter. Rob Jones did it again, a 6-yard touchdown run. That made it 27-19. Ollie Geeson actually converted the extra point on that one as well. 28-19 then in favour of the Blue Devils. We pick it up with the Spartans in possession and knocking on the door. They've moved to Hamburg's 26-yard line. Smith, incomplete. I think he was looking for Steve Marsh. That looked like he may have been tipped at the line.
Well, if it got tipped at the line, that guy must have been about 8 feet tall. Looks like it was just a bad pass. A quick slant.
Yeah, I'm trying to give Terry the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, this is true. But, you know, you always stick with them quarterbacks. You know, when you're not offensive line, you go back to the huddle and something after that. And quarterbacks never say anything when they mess up. But when you mess up, man, you catch your earful. You know? You really do. But I think one thing to note here is that every time Hamburg score, I don't know if you recognize in our viewing audience, it's always been attacking the corner. They're still running that option. You know, they've been successful over the last 2 weeks.
It worked for them against Amsterdam. It's working again here as well. Pressure coming. Smith in trouble. That's Andreas Hopfeld with penetration. And down goes Smith for a loss of around 12. A big play there from Andreas Hopfeld, number 50.
Never had a chance. Basically what Hamburg did was they outnumbered the Manchester offensive linemen or offensive blockers. And, you know, that's a free-for-all. And he came in and got the job done.
Terry saw it coming, but Hopfeld had a perfect bead on him and didn't let him out of his sights. So, 3rd and 22. A passing situation, you think?
Definitely, and believe me, Terry will reference that last play, and he will remember it, and he will come up with a play for it. I guarantee you.
I'm wondering if Terry's perhaps thinking of putting himself out wide and bringing Jason Elliott, the Great Britain quarterback, in. He's in the squad as well. Smith under a lot of pressure, fired before he was ready. I think he was looking for the tight end Rob Hall there, but had to just get rid of it.
Yeah, it looks that way, and actually, you kind of get the sense that the momentum is starting to shift a little bit, you know. The defense makes a couple great plays, and they continue to blitz, and they're getting pressure on the quarterback. And that's the kind of thing you want to keep up when you're out there. You know, you want to get that 3 and out, and you don't want Manchester to score.
Well, here's what's happened again. Pressure coming from the outside, and Smith just getting rid of it, and that was never going to be complete. So on 4th and 22, looks like the Spartans may decide to go for it, which I think under the circumstances they may just as well do.
Definitely. It's getting late in the game, and Terry doesn't play for fun. You know, he plays to win, and so do the players on his team. So you should see him going into the end zone here, I think.
Big play coming up here. Smith looking for it. That was, well, there was a breakdown in communication there. Terry Robinson was ahead of the throw, and it was close to an interception as well. Stefan Stark was probably the nearest player there, the Blue Devils defensive back. But whatever, certainly a breakdown in communication.
Hey, I think that is just a sign of sometimes when the team doesn't have a chance to practice. And it's a timing pattern. As you can see, Smith is basically talking to him about the weather and asking him if he brought his umbrella today, you know? But in timing patterns like that, you saw the receiver going down. He didn't even look up, and Terry had thrown the ball. And that just comes with practice. Repetition is the master.
And that's something that the Spartans just haven't had a chance to do as much as Terry would certainly like. Terry's such a strategist, a perfectionist, a 2-time British national champion. Led the Spartans to success in the Euro Bowl, led the Great Britain team to success in the European Championships. But that's not counting for much here against the Hamburg Blue Devils as Rob Jones goes on another scamper 15 yards before he went out of bounds.
And once again, that option, you know, I get tired of saying it. And again, look at this. Great feed, nobody on the quarterback. And as a matter of fact, 2 of the Manchester players running to each other. I don't know what the problem was there. Big game.
And I tell you, another couple of guys were tied up with Raoul Pesh, who was the decoy man, the big fullback. They were tackling him while Jones was off.
And we know he is a load, definitely.
Unfortunately, he didn't have the ball. So, first down, close to midfield now for the Blue Devils, leading by 9, looking for more. And the handoff is to Pesh, and Pesh has got some running room here, the big fullback, and Pesh down to around to the 20-yard line. It's Nigel Diaz, the safety, made the tackle as a flag comes in. That may be face masking against the Spartans.
Don't you just love to see a big man rumble like that? Remind me of my younger days, you know what I mean?
He could never get away in the, let's just wait, and it is a face mask. And it's gone against the Spartans, so double trouble there for Manchester. But Raoul Pesh tried to break it open against Amsterdam and could never get away.
You're right, but if you see a great feed here, this time the quarterback gets hit, but he doesn't have the ball. And Pesh, watch out, folks, here I come. And when you're, you know, when you're a 175-pound free safety, and you see somebody like that coming, as you see it was an inadvertent face mask, the Manchester player realized what he'd done, and all of a sudden you see those fingers creep up. You don't want to see a band that big rumbling in the secondary.
So problems now for the Manchester defense. They've got to try and come up with something to stop Hamburg here. Down by 9, it would be a mountain for them to climb if they were to concede another touchdown here. So crisis time for the Spartans.
I think they're going to go with the option here. I mean, it's been a bread and butter play, and let's see.
Give is to Pesh, and Pesh is met straight away. I think Nigel Diaz came up and read that very well indeed. stopped, maybe picked up a yard, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
When you have a game or a tournament such as this, a lot of times you don't have the chance to prepare, and then what you've got to work off is tendencies. And Terry and the Manchester coaching staff have realized something you and I are saying, which is, you know, the option play by Hamburg, and now they're starting to play that, and it forces the hand of the offense now. Question is, will they do it again?
2nd down and 9. It's the same formation. And the give is to Big Pesh, and Pesh barrels his way forward. I think Terry Smith was in on that tackle. They brought him up short of a 1st down, maybe a yard short, and a couple of yards to go to the end zone. But Raul Pesh, he is a load.
That is a tremendous line surge. The offensive line gets off the ball, and if you'll notice, the backs are tight to the line, so you can just ride them, hands the ball, quarterback reads. If the defensive end comes in his face, he knows to give the ball to the fullback, and you're going to get a gain every time.
See a Monarchs helmet in there. That belonged to Mike Taylor, a former London Olympian, ex-New York Knight, ex-London Monarch.
Wonder if Mike got a haircut. We'll have to tell our fans about that later.
Yeah, well, helicopter head he was known as in New York. 3rd and 1. A big play coming up here. Jones keeps it and goes in. Bit of showboating there. You don't like to see that.
Especially with the quarterback. Just a little bit of taunting. But I think they're pumped. Look at him. He's pumped. They're happy. I mean, out of all the teams they played, the Spartans are probably one of, if not the most formidable foe, one of the most formidable foes they played in this tournament. But it was a great call. And again, hey, if Manchester can't answer the call to stop the option, that's what's going to happen every time. I mean, look at this. And bites actually on the tight end going inside to block. There's nobody out there. And that's got, if you're Terry Smith, that's got to be driving you crazy.
Ollie Geeson goes for the extra point, and the flag goes down. Geeson, oh, he nonchalantly chipped it through there, but there is a flag. I think he's quite enjoying this extra point stuff now.
My man Ollie's got style, let me tell you.
The local radio disc jockey, who only came down for a PR stunt to kick a few balls around and decided, hey, I like this game.
You want to hear a little key here? As we see the players walking off the field, some of those guys are taking their helmets immediately off, and they're looking tired. I think the fitness factor may be a question here also.
Here's Gary Gonzalez. He looks absolutely out on his feet. It was a tough series for the Spartans.
I know Gary from Miami, and great receiver, great speed. And I'm sure he's helped Terry with the defensive secondary coaching. The one thing we should let our viewers know here is not unlike what you see with college or NFL games. The Americans and a lot of the British and German players are coaches on these teams. That's a very tough task when you're trying to coach and then go out and duplicate from the playing side. I mean, it's very, very difficult, and you don't have the luxury of having people sitting up in a box and sending out Polaroids.
Something you know from your own experience with the Birmingham Bulls?
Definitely.
So, 35-19 in favor of Hamburg. Little squib kick there from Geeson, goes through the legs of one, and it's David Cowan, number 34, that is fallen on it. No, they're saying he was down. But that squib kick caused chaos.
It did. You know, you always have that hands team on kickoff return where you get the receivers in the backs, and it looks like they didn't have the hands team out there at that time. It was a regular unit.
Well, David Cowan, number 34, was the man who ended up with it. He's a backup defensive back. I think he'd have been quite surprised to be handling the ball.
I tell you what. Hey, Nick, I think we got the makings of the old Philadelphia Chicago Bears fog game. The fog's rolling in here.
It is.
And maybe that is one of the factors of where the players can't see the ball.
But I tell you, there's a crowd of around 9,500 here, and nobody's left the stadium. Great sized crowd, incidentally. Tremendous advert this for European American football. Now the Spartans must respond. Big pressure coming. Victor almost got away, but was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Peter Falter, and I wondered if the Blue Devils may have been offside there. They were coming hard.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. They may have been offsides, but basically what they're doing is outnumbering Manchester up front. They've got at least a 1 to 2 man advantage, and I mean, look at that. And it's impossible to have one offensive lineman try to block 2 people, no matter how hard they try. I mean, it just doesn't work.
Well, the offense is really starting to struggle for Manchester in the second half here as the Blue Devils pour it on a little bit defensively. 2nd and 11, and looks like a rush is coming again. Smith, well, with a lateral there going out of bounds. I think he was looking for Terry Robinson, but Robinson had no shot at getting that at all.
And I tell you what, if Robinson would have caught that thing, the way Terry threw it was bringing water down with it. I mean, it was a lateral eye, but just not a touch pass, enough of a touch pass.
And that's ruled as no forward pass. They're going to spot this for a loss.
What?
7 yards. They've pushed that back. Terry complaining about it, not happy at the call, but it's not going to get it overturned. That's going to bring up 3rd and 18. And one or two strange calls in this game.
If I'm Terry Smith right now, 3rd and 18, I got to go deep. I got to get the first down, get my team back in the game, and plus boost morale for the squad. Let's see what he does.
3rd and a bunch for the Manchester Spartans. Smith in the pocket, looks for Alex Whitaker, and just underthrown. Whitaker caught that on. Oh no, he didn't even caught it. I thought he maybe picked it up on the hop, but just underthrown.
Let me tell you, Nick, that's not the way to get a first down. I mean, basically what you're looking at is a 2-step drop and a little quick slant pattern, and even if Whitaker catches this, he's got company out there.
Well, I think we've got to see Jason Elliott at quarterback at some point as well. It does look as if Terry's starting to feel the heat a little bit. That arm may be tiring. Not fully fit anymore, of course. He's had all sorts of injury problems over his career. Maybe it's a time to bring in Jason Elliott, who's got so much more mobility.
Yeah, I mean, Terry's a courageous individual, but, you know, if you're looking to win this tournament and take a little cash home, you got to do what you got to do to get it done.
Simon Baker with the punt goes out of bounds. It's not a very good one, maybe 23 yards there. Just to roughly their own 40-yard line. So not a good kick, and they're in a bit of trouble now. The Spartans trailing 35-19. Welcome back. Well, it's very much one-way traffic in this second half so far. 35-19 in favor of the Blue Devils. Manchester put up a good struggle, but it's 21-19 at the half, but 2 touchdowns in this second half really have put the Spartans up against it. And the bad news is that the Blue Devils are in possession and knocking on the door again after that punt. The ball spotted at the 36-yard line, and Bobby Brown has come into the game for the Blue Devils. Number 32 had such a huge game against the Amsterdam Crusaders, and they're going to have to watch him.
And I tell you, this is where the practicing really pays off, Nick. And we've been saying it all night, and again, I have to reiterate it. When you get a group together, you can practice as a unit. That continuity means so much. A lot of times people look at things like, you know, Pro Bowl or any type of all-star game and think it just comes naturally, and it's very hard. It really is.
I tell you, Terry's such a perfectionist that, I mean, he'll be mad as hell to lose any game, I know, but I mean, when you look at what the Spartans have achieved in this game, they really have achieved a lot, haven't they?
Definitely. Definitely. I totally agree with you.
The pitch back goes to Brown. Brown, a little stutter step. Some missed tackles there. Bit of sloppiness into the Spartans' defensive front there. We haven't seen too much of that, and Bobby Brown made them pay. 15 yards on the pickup. You don't expect to see tackling like that. I think they're getting tired.
Can I tell you something? Nigel Diaz, who's one of their defensive backs, has got to be kicking himself right now. He does a great job here. Jones pitches a ball here. Brown gets it. Nigel's turning it inside here. And watch, he comes up to make the hit, and he misses him. Hits his own man. Mike Taylor misses him. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that just turns your stomach inside out. It really is.
That's the fatigue factor coming in there. Eventually, he was brought down. Like George Barrett was eventually the man that brought him down. The old veteran of so many teams, played with the Falcons for a long time. Good to see him still playing. We've got a Spartan down injured. I can't see who it is.
Oh, you don't like to see this, especially when they're bringing out the stretcher and you're looking at a knee, when they're working on your knee.
Victor's there looking on, concerned, and this doesn't look too good. It's Terry. No, it's not Terry. I thought it was number 7 there. It's Stuart Rucastle, coming off under his own steam. The big defensive lineman.
He's working all right. That's a good sign. You never want to see anybody get hurt, no matter what aspect of sport.
There's the head coach, George White, on the sideline talking to Thomas Wolfe, number 5. They must be very happy on the Blue Devils sideline.
George's looking a little comfortable there. You know, hands in the pocket with a smile on his face. Don't see many coaches do that.
He wasn't looking that way in the first half.
No, I think they were a little concerned, and they had a right to be.
So 1st and 10, the ball spotted on around the 22-yard line. Jones with time, going upstairs looking for Max von Garnier. flags come down.
Tell you what, that pass by Jones bringing water down with it too. I mean, even if it was a timing pattern, it's called a corner route where you're just going to run right into the corner of the end zone. That thing was very, very high. And with this fog, you can barely see it.
Well, this one's gone against the offense. I think this may be offensive pass interference. Let's listen in.
With an offense pass interference included, loss of down.
Whoa, that's a big penalty. 15 yards and a loss of down. Max von Garnier, who came back applauding the flag, finds this gone against him. I don't think he's too impressed.
And I don't think his friends are impressed. You can see the tackles are looking back at him.
Well, let's have another look and see if we can see the infraction here.
Looks like just a corner pattern, and yeah, there's a right hand pushing off on the back.
Little shove on Gary Gonzalez, who's raised his arm straight away and gets the call his way. So 2nd and 25. Now that's pushed it back to the 36-yard line, well out of field goal range.
You know what? I think they go to the end zone again here.
But if the Spartans can hold them here and strike quickly, we could still have a game here.
This is true. Hey, basically, the game's never open until the final whistle's blown.
So 2nd and a bunch out of the I formation. Jones will be looking to go upstairs, just managed to handle the ball, turns the corner, lots and lots of time. He's looking for von Garnier again, and he's got him, and this time there is the touchdown.
This mean you call me coach twice?
Yeah, you said it again, didn't you?
I mean, I can't believe the time that Jones gets. It's absolutely amazing, Nick. And the whole thing is, he's such a mobile quarterback that he can run him out to the corner and let him throw to the receivers. You're going to see here a great block coming up. Just a little roll block there. That's a defensive end. He has containment. Once Jones gets out here, you can forget it. Call that a home canceling Christmas. Touchdown.
All on his own, beating Gary Gonzalez.
Looks like Garnier may have broken off his pattern too, to be honest with you.
Well, they obviously like what they saw on the previous play, that they went to it again. Now then, Ollie Geisen. Oh, goodness knows what's going on here. Things are moving on the Blue Devils side there. These PATs, they really are a magical mystery tour, aren't they?
They are, but can I tell you, Ollie's got to be the coolest man on the field. Through the whole thing, you know, he stands in his stance, and he doesn't move. And he just saw a 250-pound lineman barge through offsides, and he looks at him like, hey, what are you doing? Let me kick my ball.
That's the disc jockey mentality, you see.
Hey, it must be.
Stay cool, chill out.
Dead ball foul, full start, left side of the line, 5 yards.
So Ollie's going to have to kick it from 5 yards further back, which probably won't bother him too much.
Then again, you never can tell.
41-19, the score now, 4th quarter. And I'm tempted to think that could be the final nail in Manchester's coffin. It's been a very brave fight, but the wheels are coming off a little bit here in this 2nd half. This 4th quarter particularly.
Looks like fitness is definitely the key here.
Now then, Geeson goes for the extra point and nonchalantly chips it over.
Probably one of the most ugliest extra points I ever seen converted, but hey, he gets it done. Special teams, I have pet peeves about certain things. And special teams, one of those areas that I think a lot of teams have to work on, from high school all the way up to the NFL. And when these guys can do that and have this as a second nature, going up offensive and defensive plays, it'll bring that game to just another level.
Well, this was the last touchdown, and Bob Jones had as much time as he could possibly have wished for in this situation.
Again, great block by my offensive colleague there. And actually a great catch, because Gonzalez almost got in his face on this, and he had to bring the ball in and stay in bounds.
Gonzalez walks away in disgust. Von Garnier, well, celebration time. And now Ollie back in the action. It's a squib kick last time. I reckon his leg's getting tired.
Man, we got to teach Ollie how to roll his socks up, man. I think he's trying to be, like a defensive end or D-back here.
No, not big enough, I'm afraid.
Tremendous physique. The Arnold Schwarzenegger school of don't kick sand in my face.
Another squib kick from Geeson, fielded by, I think, Leroy Innes has got a piece of that one. Gets it over the 40-yard line before he's nailed Falter and Papp. coming in on the tackle, but that'll take it back to around the 43, 44-yard line from Leroy Innes. They had the hands out that time.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the Spartans do look tired right now. Even on that return, Leroy pretty much had to do that all by himself. You're going to see a lot of people standing around out here. He's trying to get something done, and you see a lot of guys just jogging. And you know what? We were always taught, you see a man jogging between the whistles, you tear his head off. It's called keeping your head on the swivel. So I think both sides are a little tired now.
Jason Elliott in at quarterback now for the Spartans. Terry Smith's gone wide. Elliott, very mobile, very fast, unpredictable kind of guy. Nobody quite knows what he's going to come up with next. Great Britain international. Drops, looks straight away for Terry Smith, the receiver, and Smith shows why he was an NFL defensive back. Very safe hands. In fact, it wasn't Terry Smith, correction.
Unless Terry Smith got a tan.
That's Leroy. Leroy Innes coming in with a safe pair of hands.
Hey, let me tell you, Jason Elliott, Great Britain international quarterback, basically has honed his skills over the last 4 to 5 years and one of the top players, if not in Europe, definitely in Great Britain. And Terry Smith's cousin, Leroy Innes, makes the catch.
That's Jason Elliott, the quarterback, now plays for the Kent Mustangs. They made the Coca-Cola Division 1 Bowl this year, lost it to the Glasgow Lions, no disgrace. Glasgow's tough.
Hey, Glasgow is tough, and they bring everything but the kitchen sink at you, too.
2 minutes to go then in the ball game, and Elliott with a 32-yard completion has got things moving. Elliott, quick fire release, but underthrown. Terry Smith was open, but not one of Jason Elliott's better passes.
It looks like at this point, Manchester's trying to get what they can, and basically Hamburg is playing a prevent defense. You know, they'll keep everything in front of them, but won't let anybody get behind them. And that was just a poorly thrown pass.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10, 42-19 the score. Can Jason Elliott lead the Spartans to a consolation touchdown? And it would be no more than they deserve. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Elliott with a deep drop, looks for Terry Smith this time, and Smith's got him. Beats the coverage, touchdown.
Good catch, and there was a gamble by the free safety there to try to either intercept the ball or knock it down. Hey, you know, Nick, this whole tournament has been very entertaining, to be honest with you, and I think this final game is just a highlight of what it's done in Europe. You see Elliott here just kind of zinging the ball, and the free safety's going to come across.
That was a great catch from Terry.
Yeah, it was. He had people in his face hanging all over him, and the old man still got hands.
Hey, he's not that old. I'm older than he is.
Well, you know, we do have pension laws here, you know what I mean?
So 42-25, I think it's safe to say that there's going to be a 2-point conversion attempt here. Victor's in the game. And the give is to Victor. Greg Goodman all over him. Victor just brought up short, and Greg Goodman, you can credit number 3 with the stop there. Goodman has done a pretty good job on Victor.
Yeah, he has done actually he's done an excellent job. Victor's not one of the easier people to defend against, and when you put a marker out there and say this is your man. But on the flip side, hey, Victor was sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden he comes in for this play. Think he's a little tight? Maybe. You know? But it was a nice effort on both parts. Victor trying to get to the goal line, and Goodman stopping him.
Let's just take one more look at that touchdown pass to Terry Smith, whose vision must have been horribly impaired, but tremendous concentration, and a good pass from Elliott as well.
Great pass, great catch. That's what it's all about.
So a nice way to round off the game. It was the Spartans' last hurrah. They go down 42-25, but they go down with honor. Unfortunately for the Spartans, it's the Blue Devils that keep the purse of 30,000 Deutschmarks. Terry could have done with that, I'm sure, but his team certainly not disgraced. A team that was really thrown together very much at the last minute, and they've acquitted themselves very well indeed in going over and getting some pretty good applause from this 9,000 crowd. But it's the Hamburg Blue Devils that win the Schweppes Cool Challenge, and deservedly so, I think.
I tell you, excellent display of football, not bad at all, and from an NFL standpoint, something we love to see.
There's the post-game celebrations. Victor Rubidike, he had a big game.
That was just a quick shot of Rusty Eckman, who did a great job also. along with Mr. Copeland.
Definitely helped that the Blue Devils could play 4 Americans at the same time. That gave them a big advantage. It's helped them right through this 3-match tournament. But I don't think we can take anything away from them. They've come out and done what they've had to do, and they've won the title. Right, I think my colleague Christian Vega is just about ready to have a few words with the star man himself, Victor Ebubedike.
Victor, what is your first impression right after the game?
My first impression is that the game was a hell of a game. I mean, I think we played very well, especially when we've been together for just one day. In fact, tell the truth, a few hours. You know, we trained for about 6 hours yesterday, right through to the dark, you know, and I think the guys did a hell of a job. I think we gave them one of the toughest games they've ever played in their whole life, you know. But I'm sure if something can be arranged, we'll you know, it'll be payback time, believe me.
Tough talk from Victor. Payback time if there's ever a return, and let's hope there will be. But I think the star man on Hamburg's side was their quarterback, Bob Jones.
Yeah, well, like you said, it was tough. You know, it was a real competitive game in that first half. We hadn't had competition in a while. You know, it was real hard competition. And we went in the halftime and talked about it a little bit and decided, hey, we got to screw our heads on a little tighter and come out here and hit a little harder, get a little lower, and get a little quicker, and it came and proved well for us.
That's it from James Thornton and me, Nick Halling. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye for now.